And you are live. What is going on, everybody? RogersBase here. Hello and welcome. Good morning to you, and welcome to my live reaction of One Piece manga chapter 1157. We are now getting to a point in One Piece in which the numbers are so high. Whenever we start these chapters, it blows my mind every time I read them out. But I already see a lot of people in here, both on YouTube and on Twitch. Welcome to the stream. My alert for the stream just went off on my phone. Hello, everybody, and welcome. I want to jump right into this one. I managed to remain completely unspoiled because obviously it's been a very busy past week and a half between the New York trip for the thing that you guys are going to see next Friday, plus all the stuff with Pokemon Worlds this weekend, all the Japan time videos. There's been so much going on, and so thankfully I just haven't been around. I haven't been seeing a lot of stuff, so let's just get right into it. I feel like the last one was really good. I want this trend to continue. I've been loving this flashback. Let's do more of it. So One Piece 1157. This one is titled Legendary Bar, okay? And we are getting started with Ogre Child Yamato's Golden Harvest Surrogate Pilgrimage, Volume 39. He fought against Kaido to protect his village, but perished without leaving a body behind. So we are at the grave of one of the brave warriors of Wano country who tried taking on Kaido. And you can see there's Kiku as well. You've got Yamato paying the respects. Fantastic. I'm also happy to see a lot of people in here saying they're finally able to join one this morning. I'm seeing Flipdo in here. I normally see Flipdo in my Boruto reactions. Welcome, 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 welcome. Seeing a lot of members, seeing a lot of people over on Twitch. Hello and welcome. Okay, let us get started. Let's pick this thing up. Legendary Bar is the name of the chapter. If I had to assume, this is probably going to be about Shaki making her bar, right? The whole last chapter was about seeing her and her young version and Tritoma and all those other Kuja pirates. So all right, let's go. Now, it very well could be. I do want to mention one thing about this opening page. This whole thing about he fought against Kaido to protect the village, but perished without leaving a body behind, could very well mean that maybe this person got away and didn't actually die. But also, we're so far into this cover story that I kind of just don't care at all. So, let's go. Okay. Embezzle International Charity Sanctuary. Bro, I just got the name immediately. Wait, I just woke up, but the Embezzle International Charity Sanctuary, crazy, considering we literally just did a charity stream for Obi's birthday for the OC Bomb Rescue, but now here we have a charity that's embezzling. This is why I do not donate to most charities. Here we go, the International Charity Sanctuary. Yahoo! There's everything from the vault. They had a fortune in here. Well, good job. We've got the goods. All right, so we're going to get more of the Rocks Pirates. You're seeing Zeus over here back in the day hanging out with the Rocks Pirates alongside Big Mom. We're meeting some of the other ones, the Bulldog-looking guy. Time to pull out, folks. No, wait. That money was donated for the sake of hungry children. Liar. Why is it collecting dust in your vault then? You've got all of them just completely working against each other. Hey, Wang Ji, hey. Lower the lift one more time. We're still down in the... He turns the thing off. So much whining. Come on, Shiki. And Shiki looking like an idiot in the bottom as well. Eyes bulging out. Huh. Oh, yeah, I forgot about them. Meanwhile, again, they're all working against each other, throwing bombs into the vault. Kaido continuing to take L's in this flashback. He goes, huh, looking up in the sky as a giant Bomberman bomb drops on by. This is crazy. You got a Whitebeard down there too. I didn't even see Whitebeard for a second. You can see Whitebeard with the huh? As the bomb goes off. And gee ha 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 ha. More for the rest of us. You fools. You got the rest of them screaming. The explosion down to the ground. Curses. They know about the grift that we're running here. So where are the soldiers? They're almost here. Make sure they don't escape. And the rest of them are going, yes, your holiness. Yeah, it very much is a Tom and Jerry. I'm seeing somebody saying in the chat, exactly. All right, close the temple gates. Iron bars. Are they trying to lock us in here? Out of the way, Buckin. I'll smash them open. It's just cool to see all these legendary pirates like working, well, not necessarily working together. Obviously, a lot of them are working against each other and backstabbing each other, but it's still cool to actually see them acting as a crew after we got that awesome spread last chapter when we were at Evo with the Rocks Pirates. Very, very cool. All right, so Big Mom looking back. God, I love this flashback, man. Huh? What? The ground is shaking. What? And you can see the rumbling on the bottom. No, 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 no. It's an earthquake. It must be. He's doing this. Newgate, of course, because of course. Whitebeard's not going to let it slide. He said, you can embarrass Kaido. You're not going to be embarrassing me. I'm sorry. All right? One of the most legendary moments in all of One Piece during Marineford when the guy is standing by. Oh, this is sick. Okay, creating an earthquake underneath. You can see Miss Bucking falling down. You can see Silver Axe falling down. You can see Big Mom falling down. New Gate. And then meanwhile, Shiki and Wang Ji all screaming, our temple. I'm jealous. I wish I had one of those. Because again, this is prior to Kaido getting the Devil Fruit power. This is prior to the God Valley incident. Right. And you got Whitebeard going, huh? A fruit power? Well, take your time and choose wisely. Because it'll be with you for life. That's a good point. But hey, who tried to bury me alive down here? And you can see Silver Axe. Oh, Shiki just floating up in the sky trying to get out of it. This is great. Oh, why? Why if it isn't you? My good friend Kyo. Oh, thank goodness you're alive. I was so worried about you, and he's got his little rosy cheeks. This is so goofy. What kind of stupid games are you playing over there? Get out the lead, people. Come on. Otherwise, I'll kill you. That treasure better be safe. Of course. Rocks, hey, how about you take a look at the sea around us? It's the Navy. We're surrounded. Whoa, ha, ha, ha. Looks like we got trouble. Hey, no time for fighting amongst yourselves back there. We gotta hit the waves. It's the Navy. But too soon. They must have been tipped off, and you can see Whitebeard looking off to the side. Belay that. Don't hit the waves. Hit the enemy. Sink them all and take their loot. And you got Rocks screaming, exclaiming they're gonna fight them on the bottom page. And it says on the top, within 2 years of their founding, the Rocks Pirates were responsible for 16 recorded raids and 76 sunken ships. I love that all this is being shown like with the ships being destroyed and him just like one-shotting tons of the ship. Uh-oh, hold on. I just flew my mouse. One-shotting some of the ships over here. All right, 14 ports burned to the ground. 5 towns were leveled. 1 kingdom was brought to ruin. And 3 special violations of Article 18 of World Law, as well as 25 crimes that were completely covered up. Roger casually one-shotting the mouse, right? Okay, for those of you who are members, you saw my stream I did earlier this week. I guess Twitch viewers saw this too. When we played Dragon Drive, which is the little like the Joy-Con mouse game. And so I cleared my mouse into a different area so I could play Dragon Drive. And so now it's like the cord is too long and I haven't had the time to set everything back up again, so it went flying. But all right, doesn't matter. We're good. We're chilling. All right, 14 ports burned to the ground. Though the future king of the pirates, Goldie Roger, also sailed the seas at this time, these few years of frenetic activity might as well have been known as the Rocks era, which is pretty sick. I love some of these action shots, just showing how powerful they are. And like, I guess we'll talk about this a little bit more in the well, I'll save it for the review. Because we clearly have a lot more of the chapter. I'm looking down in the bottom. It says I'm on page 6 and 7 of a 20-page chapter, which is pretty awesome. All right, let's pick this up. Enishi in the New World. What do you want, Harold? Get lost. Unaffiliated countries are lawless land in your eyes. The people who live in them have no rights. But it's not proper. The world government doesn't make all the rules of the world. Let those people go. When Elbaf was suffering from famine, they brought us food and asked for nothing in return. They're our friends and our saviors. And you can see the rest of them going, please help us, King Harold. Now is the time to repay the debt that we owe them. I will not back down from this. You got one of the Cypher Pull people going, listen, Harold, if you want to bring that up, Elbaf is still a hopeful in terms of a future member of the government. If you aid us, it might benefit you. But if you protect an unaffiliated nation, it will only decrease your chances of joining. Again, really cool how this is paralleled with what we've already seen in the story with Blackbeard, and how Blackbeard, throughout the course of the post-time skip era has been trying to become affiliated with the world government, right? And that's all he wants. And Harold is like, look, this isn't proper, all right? You guys got to stop attacking all these people. It doesn't matter. I don't want to be affiliated if it means this. And you've got him saying, now clear the way, Harold. Meanwhile, he's just shooting some of the people that helped. And Harold's trying to hold back, but you can clearly see on the panel right below, he's about to go swinging. None of these prisoners are people to us. Man, Great shot, too, of just the size of Harold, and he's swinging down on the warship. You can see he's almost the size of the ship itself, slamming on down. King Harold of Elbaf shows his true stripes after feigning allegiance to the government. He sinks an innocent warship, and this was said by the World Economic Journal. We know, fake news. We know this already. We know this. Was this prior to the reign of Big News Morgans? I believe, wasn't it brought up at some point within this time frame that like Morgans was an up-and-comer reporter or something? I do believe that this is before Morgans is actually running the World Economic Journal, but I could be wrong. All right, Ida's Bar Elbaf. We got Rock's back. Every time I see Vohaha now. Vohaha. I told you, that's what the government does. Come on, Harold. Let's just share drinks at the castle. You got him going, nonsense. I'm not allowing a man of such infamy into my country. Also, you're right. This is before, because it was declared during God Valley, right? The reporting of the God Valley incident was like what the upstart Morgans was reporting on. That's right. It was during God Valley. Thank you, Mickey, by the way, for reminding me. Greatly appreciated. All right. Nonsense. I'm not allowing a man of such infamy into my country. Now join me, Harold. You and your whole country. Stop being so stubborn and just give up. Dude, he's not going to join you, man. All right? You guys might be drinking buddies, but you stand for different things. I just can't stand to see you bowing and scraping to the government anymore. Mark my words. Ooh, okay, he's bald now? All right. Interesting. He just figured his hairline in the previous page was all the way up here. He said, I'll shave it off. Mark my words. Elbaf will be part of the world government one day. And you think shaving your head is going to make them see your contrition? I mean, what kind of culture did you get from that? Voha! And again, super funny to see Rox tiny on the little platform, looking up at Harold. Ida still standing, towering above him. Yeah, Garp laughed at me too. Garp? Do you know how much he hates the brass he works for? Look, Garp. Oh, that's. Ooh! Okay. Ooh, good line. Good line from Rox, saying Garp should just be a pirate already. Look, it's an organization. Some are miscreants, but as a whole, the Navy does work hard to save lives on a daily basis. So we've got Harold as a Navy apologist over here. They've even begun to accept a number of recruits from Elbaf, starting with John Giants. Interesting they bring that up too. Very cool. If only I could send more of our overly powerful warriors. I know their strength would go a long way towards helping the downtrodden. And then you got Rox saying, that sounds like the last thing I want to face out there, a whole Navy filled with giants that he has to contend against. Come on, Ida, please, talk him out of this. Well, if Harold were my son, I think I would say choose better friends. And meanwhile, you've got the little kids down there, you got him listening, Loki's still listening to all this, arms crossed, Haruden outside. She's trying to give him some grog, but it doesn't matter. It's fine. You got the rest of them going, come on, that's not funny. All right, Navy HQ. All a giant has to do is roll over in his sleep, and he'll crush the human sleeping next to him. If they get angry and lose control, it could be life-threatening. I mean, how in the world are we supposed to coexist with something like that? That's what the higher-ups said, after all. So, how about you speak for yourself? Oh, we're singing. Okay. Oh, okay. Okay, we're singing all the youngins. Young Garp, young Sengoku, young Suru, young Kong. Finally, bro. Finally, we're getting Kong getting some lines. Okay. Isn't that a good thing for the Navy to have, though? Garp, Luffy's grandfather, currently Vice Admiral. Harold's an honest, well-meaning man. He really does want to change Elbaf's history. Sengoku, at the time again, Vice Admiral, future Fleet Admiral. Rumor says that Rox has been trying to win him over. If he joins their crew, even the Navy might not be able to stop them. Once again, Navy Vice Admiral Suru, future Great Advisor. I forgot that she has that title. I know, but still, I'm trapped between a rock and a hard place. And then finally, Navy Admiral Kong, future Commander-in-Chief. The problem is, historically speaking, they've been a vicious people. Yeah, and I want them on our side, Kong. So Kong's being a little racist. Garp says, how about you stop being a little racist? Let's work together. They're strong. They could be a great asset. Let's work together. Just bring Elbaf into the world government. Come on. What, do you think that's up to me? I wish. So once again, Kong proving he's got no power. Didn't do anything during this Roger era future commander-in-chief. This is back when he was just a regular old Navy admiral. I wish we would see him with an actual power. I wish we'd actually see him fight. At this time, by the way, Kong and Zephyr would be the only admirals, since the third admiral was killed by rocks. Oh, that's true. That's true. That's true. That's true. That's true. He was. That was the whole thing that we got. Was that 2 chapters ago or 1 before? It must have been 2 before, because I remember being here talking about it and speculating that might have been Akainu's dad. That's right. That was 2 before. Maybe this is why they added Z. This is a little tangent side note thing. Maybe this is why they added Z to Pirate Warriors. I thought it was such a weird choice that they threw Z in there when, like, he's obviously not relevant to the story right now. Film Z was years ago, but maybe we're going to see a little more of him. That would be cool. All right, wow, we have a lot more of this chapter still. Jeez. Oh, Z was actually voted in. Interesting. Okay. Full of lead 42 years ago. Did you see this? It's a scandal. The papers are saying that Shakuyaku's not the captain of the Kucha pirates anymore. Okay, so this is going to be around the time that Tritoma takes over then? Pre-Boa, obviously. Huh? Does that mean our chances of running into her across the sea are basically 0 now? What's happening? You got her bounty posted there with her smoking? This is devastating. I only went out to sea to be a pirate because I dreamed of being boarded by Shakuyaku one day. We've wasted the best years of our lives. Please come back to us, Shaki. All right? Dude, she's not all that, man. Even Gloriosa is cuter than her. Like, you got all these pirates completely simping over her. All right. They became pirates so one day they could be boarded by her? What does Shaki think she's doing after all? I mean, didn't she quit because she wanted to chase after a man just like you did, Gloriosa? That's true. She's going after Roger. That's true. Even the island of women can't defeat love, it seems. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I got to put my keyboard down over here so my mouse doesn't get messed up. Am I seeing young Oven and young Katakuri? Little Katakuri standing on Big Mom's shoulder. Look what a little doofus he looks like. I love this. And then obviously, that's not Salome, is it? Is that a different snake? Is that like Salome's ancestor? What is... Hold on. I love this little shot of Oven, too, on the bottom with the little beady eyes, just smiling, arms crossed. He's a Labubu Katakuri. You know, he does look a little bit like a Labubu. Hold on. I'll grab the little Labubus over here. Look at this. This is what Katakuri looks like. With the dumb little teeth. That's so funny. This is actually super funny. Wait a minute. She didn't quit because she wanted to chase after a man, just like you did, Gloriosa. Even the island of women can't defeat love, it seems. I don't expect you to understand the agony of true love with the way you crank out babies like popcorn. Hey, yo! All right, Gloriosa. I find it hard to believe that she's got love sickness, though. But I'll tell you, if it's with Roger, I'll never forgive her. Dude, again, Gloriosa, I feel like, is way cuter than Shaki. Way cuter. Like 110% cuter. I also think, to be fair, I think Stussy's cuter, too. So I don't know what these guys are up to. But all right. Also, Shaki's got that disgusting smoker's breath. Get that out of here, all right? She's smoking constantly. No. Get out of here. I also think that's a crazy line from Gloriosa. I think we just kind of breezed past that, but that line over there about cranking out babies like popcorn is actually insane. Everyone always talks about Shaki this and Shaki that, but you never had eyes for anyone but me. Right, Newgate? Bro, Stussy, I'd be right there with you. With suck you bussy Stussy. I guess this is pre, clone Stussy. This is pre-clone Stussy with the bat sucking power. So I understand, that's fine. This is Miss Bucking. We know what she turns into. So maybe Whitebeard's good on his own. And Whitebeard's even like, I never had eyes for you at all. Let's get real, okay? But what? Come on, it's me, Miss Bucking. I could have any man in the world. Well then, so what's your problem? My problem is I want you. This is probably the day that Weevil was consummated right here. There you go. I agree, dude. Sussy might be the baddest. This is great. Look out, people. We got big news. The Kuja ship is by the... Oh, this is probably when she's going to join Rocks. Okay. Very good. Very, very good. The Kuja ship is by the shore. What? This was one... Oh, that's a good shot right there. Very cool shot. This was one of the most shocking days in the history of Pirate Island. Of all people, the untouchable idol herself, object of the world's desire, set foot into the lair of wild, untamed beasts. And meanwhile, you've just got hundreds of pirates. You even got like the future father of some of Big Mom's kids right there. I recognize that weird head anywhere. That's like Opera's dad down there. A goddess has stepped onto our soil. I could die happy right now. Thank you, Tritoma. I'll take it from here. So again, Tritoma's taking over. So this is Pirate Island, huh? Why is she here? There's no reason for someone like you to take one more step onto this filthy island. Would you perhaps be looking to join the Rock Pirates, just like Lady Gloriosa did? She's so pretty. What a beaut. Is she really here? Am I dreaming? So gorge. I can't see her brilliance through my tears. Bro, again, these Kuja, overblown. Overblown. They're pretty, but like, in this series, in One Piece, come on now. No. I just want to live here for a little while. I'm a pirate too, you know. I can quit the business. But still, the Navy's after me, so I want to hide out here for a moment. And you got the rest of them with hearts in their eyes and hearts above them. Bro, she knows exactly what she's doing. Will you protect me? Subs are only $19.99 a month. Please? I'll send out a photo set. Please? Of course we will. It smells here. Clean it up. Come on. We'll get it built right now. All of them are going like crazy. I'd like to open my own business. We'll plant flowers. Come on, we'll do whatever you want. You got all of full of lead with the hearts flying like crazy. Insane. Insane. Yo. What's with all the ruckus over here? You still got Capone's, future godfather or whatever, the dude he's going to kill. You got Rocks over here. Well, I keep forgetting his name. Marlon Brando, right? Bunch of numbskulls loitering about and causing a scene. What's happening here? Uh-oh, the Rocks pirates are showing up. Please, sir, don't be angry, please. This was all our own idea. Don't kick her off the island, please. So they're all doing literally whatever she wants at this point. She bats her eyelashes a little bit, sends a couple little sparkles out of the way, and the idol gets whatever the idol wants, and you can see the hearts just flying everywhere. All right. This was the famed establishment of the Pirate Island Full of Lead, and so this is Shaggy's first bar. This is cool. Okay, see, that look is actually cuter. The look with the little apron is actually cuter, I feel, than her Kuja look. Shaggy's rip-off bar, noted for its month-long waiting list. And meanwhile, every single pirate... Bro, this is crazy. Every single pirate is out here, hearts in their eyes, falling over, tripping over themselves. I'm so glad you came. Welcome. You're my very first customer. Won't you stop in and have a drink? And you have all of them. You got... Shiki, even Whitebeard with hearts in his eyes. Hearts going like crazy. Rock's heart flying out of his chest. Oh, man. This lone peony, blooming amid the blasted wasteland, brought beauty and comfort to the island of Full of Lead. Finally, there is an angel among us. In time, she would become an irreplaceable treasure to the pirates who made this island their home. What is treasure, if not something that can be stolen? Ooh, okay. I can't, oh, come on, bro. She's like, oh, I can't open it. Meanwhile, all of them are like, we'll open the bottle for you, come on. We'll help. The bar smells so nice. What, does she have like, whatever, that's fine. We'll just keep going. All right. Hall of Power, Sacred Marijoa, and we got the Gorosei here. Let's give Harold this ultimatum then. If you warriors of Elbaf meet the following requirement, you will be allowed to join the world government. Your mission, kill Rocks. To be continued, One Piece Manga Chapter 1000, 157 end. Wow. Okay. Review time. First thing I want to say, this is a packed chapter of One Piece. I realize we have been going for half an hour reading this chapter. Just reading it, not even talking about it, not even discussing theories, nothing. Just reading the chapter has taken 30 minutes. There was a lot of good stuff packed in here. We got that scene with the young admirals. We got the scene with Harold trying to stand up for the island that like gave food to Elbaf. We got more of Rock sinking the ship. We got a great sequence in the beginning, a long extended sequence, which I think is awesome, of the Rock's pirates working together, right? Taking down that one embezzling charity. Absolutely incredible. And then we get this whole Shaki sequence towards the ending, which I also think is very good. I'm making fun of the pirates that are simping over her, but realistically, this is a great sequence, like showing how she eventually joined them. Because now I believe, I also think the way we got all this set up, I believe we are now at a point where like the Rock's pirates, as we know them, are now together. This is the group. The last piece of the puzzle was Shaki. And obviously this has been set up for so long in the story, dating back to the pre-time skip era, when it was first brought up that Shaki was on this legendary pirate crew and was hunted down for her beauty. Like, we're actually seeing it in real time, which is really cool. Also, you guys saying Shaki is the Helen of Troy that will eventually trigger the battle at God Valley. I mean, it's crazy to see her here, where all of them are fighting with each other to try to get her love. And I do love this. Also, you guys are saying in the chat, Garp said that they took something from Hachinosu and that's why they're attacking. The narrator also says Shaki's irreplaceable treasure could be stolen. Absolutely, she is 100% what causes God Valley. Oh, absolutely. I mean, again, all this stuff is being set up to lead to that moment, which is great for multiple reasons. Because one, I feel like a lot of us, and I'm speaking for myself, and also some other people who've expressed this. If you disagree with me, that's fine. But I feel personally that the stuff we saw in God Valley in Kuma's flashback was great, but really didn't paint the full picture of what was going down that day. And I personally was disappointed with what we got of it with the stuff with Wano, the little glimpses that we saw of it. So I think now that the full picture is coming together and it's clear that they're going to be going after to try to save Shaki, and then we've got the Roger pirates coming in and we've got Garp, and it's all going to lead to this big moment, right? They're calling her the gem of Full-Lead Island. Exactly. I feel like the puzzle pieces are now here for Oda to actually give us everything that we've wanted to see from that moment. I feel like legitimately this is probably the last opportunity that we're going to get. Because knowing what we have left within the story with Final War, right, with Shamrock, with the fighting with Garling, with the revolutionaries, all the stuff with Laugh Tale, Joy Boy's flashback, Imu's flashback, probably one for Akainu as well. We have a lot of stuff that we still need to see in the story, and I feel like God Valley is one of those lingering things that people have been like, oh, we need this full flashback, but we really have been giving it in chunks. I kind of feel like this is the last opportunity to really flesh out exactly what happened during that incident. And yeah, again, Shaki clear as day as the linchpin. Them taking this much time to build her up, and specifically that line at the ending where it says, in time she'll become an irreplaceable treasure, and that what is treasure if not something that could be stolen? Of course she's going to end up getting stolen. My assumption, looking at what's going on right now, with them giving the ultimatum, kill Rocks, right, is that Harold's probably not going to do it, right? Harold's going to refuse to kill his friend. This is probably going to bring, Imu and all these other characters into the fold to try and stop him for whatever he's going to do his own thing. He's going to get Domi reversied, or Loki's going to get Domi reversied. Harold's going to die. Everyone's going to get wiped out. It's going to set up what we've already known in the story, right? About Harold and about Loki and about the history of Elbaf. While then at the same time, they're going to be like, all right, secondary game plan, we got to capture her. And that's going to set off everything else. Also, Harold owes Rox one for Rox slashing his son, to be fair. Look, I don't really think he particularly cares about all of that. He cares about his son, but he doesn't know the full extent that Rox has been, destroying and throwing his son off cliffs. So, either way, I think all the stuff with Shaki was actually really fun. It is also cool to see, these legendary figures, people like Rox and people like Whitebeard and Shiki, just kind of falling head over heels for this girl. Again, personally, I feel like we have seen prettier girls in One Piece, so the idea that she is so beautiful that she sets off a war is kind of crazy to me. But it also I feel like makes sense with the history of the Kuja pirates and them being these untouchable idols, and clearly people love them, right? You had pirates in this chapter saying that they specifically set out to sea just so their ship could be boarded by her. So again, people clearly love her. Also, Maverick says it makes sense as to why Roger got involved, because he's infatuated with Shaki too. Exactly, they're all after her. Exactly. I did also really love the stuff. I feel like a lot of people are probably going to be talking about the Shaki stuff in this chapter, but I do actually really love the setup with the stuff with Harold pretending to work with the government while at the same time not fully feigning his allegiance, right? He does think good can happen from the Giants being involved with the Navy. He doesn't like, obviously, what the government is doing to his allied countries, right? We get this entire sequence where, like, that Cypher Pole member is shooting his old allies that gave them food when Elbaf was starving. But at the same time, I do really like what they're setting up here, with him slowly but surely realizing, like, change will only happen if he works with them in some capacity. And Rox is like, look, we got to burn everything down. Rox is like, there's no good left in this government. There's no good in any of this. We got to just take everybody down. That's why I'm putting together the super strong pirate crew. He keeps giving him outs. He keeps saying, look, join me. Together we'll rule the world. All this kind of stuff. But he's not buying it. Harold knows there's got to be another way. And I also really like how that's juxtaposed with that sequence with Garp and Sengoku and with Suru, right? With Garp even defending the fact that, like, the Giants could potentially be part of the Navy, when he says, like, this is a good thing for the Navy to have, right? To have the diversity, to be able to coexist, to have these really strong warriors on our side. We need this to protect the people. So why would you be against this? Yeah, sure, the Giants might roll over in their sleep, but you make, like, new bunkers for them, so they don't actually end up accidentally killing people if they roll over in their sleep. Like, I think there's a lot of good stuff that's set up here. It's also interesting to just see Sengoku as a vice admiral and seeing, like, the hierarchy of the admirals at this point in time, because I feel like, again, we haven't seen much of him. I'm wondering if we will see some of Kong in action when we actually get to God Valley. We haven't seen much, but right now the admirals of this era are looking pretty terrible. We've got Kong, who hasn't done anything. We've got one of them who straight up got killed by rocks, and then you've got the third one. And the third one that's left, right, the one that's the actual admiral, is Z, who we eventually know what happens to him in the story when we see the movie. So I feel like the admirals of this era aren't particularly looking very good. I feel like we got to see more of them. We got to see something. Or maybe we don't. Maybe we need to see that the strongest people of this era were like these vice admirals, people like Garp and Sengoku. Strongest in terms of the Navy, obviously, not overall, right? We've got Rox one-shotting Navy ships and things like that. You've got Roger running around. It really does feel like, I will be honest, looking at this era of piracy, like seeing all these super strong legends together, again, seeing Kaido's power pre-Devil Fruit dwarfed by Whitebeard, Big Mom in some of these instances, Shiki, like there's a lot of them that are clearly very, very strong. It almost makes me look at this generation of pirates, right? This era, and of course we've got someone like Luffy who's going Gear 5. You got someone like Blackbeard. You got the Yonko, obviously. You got people like Mihawk. But I still feel like blow for blow, if they existed at the same time, seeing what we've seen, seeing some of the feats of the people of this era, I almost feel like this era was significantly stronger overall than the current era. You know what I mean? Outside of the Admirals, obviously. The Admirals clearly have shown way more in our time than they have in this time. But I feel like in terms of just the pirates running around the seas, even like Harold, again, there's so many bigwigs and so many people running around doing massive damage that I don't know. I'm sure we're going to see the moment where a lot of the pirates of our era sort of like step up to bat once we get to Final War. And yeah, Roger and Garp aren't exactly who they are at this point yet. Right. And there are way more pirates after Roger. Exactly. Yeah, it's like quantity over quality, I guess. But like the pirates of this era that were running things, the Rocks pirates, I mean, they were like near unstoppable. I mean, look at this. They list off all of their crimes. Within 2 years of their founding, it says, the Rocks pirates are responsible for 16 recorded raids, 76 sunken ships, 14 ports burned to the ground, 5 towns leveled, and a kingdom brought to ruin. And then this thing too, 3 special violations of Article 18 of World Law, and 25 crimes that were covered up. I would like to know what those crimes were. Yeah, this is, I mean, really just amazing. Seeing all this stuff in real time. Again, I'm just happy and grateful that we are getting this. Because I think a while ago, I kind of resigned myself to the fact that because we are in Final Saga, we might not necessarily see everything that we wanted to see. And I know I mentioned this during my last chapter reaction. I mentioned this during the past few during this flashback. But I feel like this flashback has been excellent in not only setting up what is going to go down in Elbaf and seeing why Harold is doing what he's doing, but also setting up the world at large and fleshing out Oda actually taking this opportunity to say, look, Rox and Harold were dogs. We need to see all of this stuff fleshed out. Because again, Rox is an inspiration for Loki, right? Rox is almost like a Shanks figure to Loki. He likes what he's doing. He likes the fact that he's, no nonsense, wants to burn everything down. So it's cool to actually see it in action. I love this. And I think the placement of this being before Final War is also good too, because then it allows us to really focus on, whatever that history was with Emu and with Joy Boy, once we're actually dealing with Emu directly after this conflict in Elbaf is done. Obviously, we're dealing with Emu right now via proxy through Gunko, and there's other things happening in real time. It's also, we've been in this flashback for a long time now, right? We've been in this flashback since, 3 months ago? I want to say? And we entered this flashback like early summer. It's now mid-August. And I'm not bored of it. I could stay in this flashback another 6-7 chapters, man. I love this. I feel like if we get more of the stuff with God Valley, we see, Shaki getting kidnapped, we see Harold getting Domi reversied or Loki getting Domi reversied. There's a lot. We see potentially another character get killed, right? Like, I know there's some people who are speculating that Ida's going to get killed during this flashback. I still am of the mindset that Ida is actually alive in real time, is in hiding, and is Mosa, who's been talking to Loki, with her being a mother figure to Loki, but that's neither here nor there. I could be wrong. And we still got all this stuff, with like Luffy and Loki needing to team up. It's excellent. Really, really excellent. And again, there's great lines of dialogue in this too. Even him allowing these characters room to breathe, right? Like showing that sequence as small as it is for 2 panels with Stussy and with Whitebeard. Once again, reminding readers hey, remember, she's head over heels for him. She declares that Weevil is Whitebeard's kid, and all this stuff was set up at this time frame. We've got, Gloriosa still pining over Roger. Big Mom popping out these kids, seeing baby Katakuri, seeing baby Oven. It's great, man. Absolutely great stuff here. I love it. And again, really good tableaus. I love that sequence where you see Shaki's bar and Rox walking up to her and her just tying the apron on and then everyone falling in love with her. Great. Even Harold, I love that little line too from Rox, excuse me, on page 10, where he's like, you think shaving your head is going to show that you mean business? Just little goofy things like that. Adds so much personality to these characters and really fleshes out who they are. I love it, man. Yeah, this has been excellent. And again, just seeing the Rox Pirates in action and showing how dysfunctional they are and just constantly backstabbing one another. It's great. It really, really, really is great. Yeah. So overall, I think this was an excellent chapter of One Piece. I feel like the thing is, we talked about a lot of this stuff as we were going through the reaction, so I feel like there's not much to the review, because I think pretty much everything that I wanted to talk about, we talked about as we were reading it for the first time. I think the review is just simply, I am happy with the fact that Oda has managed to weave in all these storylines in a cohesive way that doesn't feel like he's, ham-fisting in all this information just because there's no other place to put it. Which I think could very easily have happened if he was I have to fold in God Valley and Shaki and Rox and all this other stuff into Loki's flashback. I feel like we could have very easily had a situation in which the Rox stuff completely overshadows the Elbaf stuff. But I do think he's doing a really good job of balancing showing Rock's side of things and how he's getting things done with Harold's side of things. And I am just as interested in seeing the Harold stuff as I am in seeing the Rock stuff. I feel like there are a lot of people who've just been craving for Rock's information, that that stuff is just overblowing everything, and that's fine. But to me, I think the narrative thread of Elbaf is still not lost within what we're seeing here, I feel like I'm still actively invested. I still want to know more about what's going to happen with Loki and with Haruden. It's great. And again, even seeing these moments over the course of this history of the Rox Pirates, where he's going back to Elbaf, and Rox is still trying to convince him, look, there's a better way of doing this. Join me, everything's going to be fine. And that's how we're hearing this, you know, through Loki's point of view. It's because it's like every one of these major moments were when he went back to Elbaf. It's great. Absolutely great. And again, young Whitebeard, even that throwaway line from Kaido, where he's like, yo, I really want one of those. And Whitebeard's like, be careful because it's going to stick with you for life. And then leading up, like, again, that line showing his desire for a fruit. And then Big Mom getting that fruit for Kaido during God Valley, as we've already seen. Like, it's really good setup. It's really, really good setup. And I do genuinely believe the last little bits of God Valley that we need to get, I think we are actually finally going to see in this flashback, which is really cool. Yeah. I love it. And I do also love that Shaki is kind of like, I guess you have to take into consideration, she is like the Boa of this era, right? That everyone's always falling head over heels for Boa. You have Momonga literally stabbing himself so he doesn't fall in love with her. Like, you know, I feel like that's cool that we're actually seeing this is the power of the beauty of the Kuja pirates throughout, you know, all the generations. So, yeah, I love it. I think there's not much more to say other than this is a great chapter. Once again, you know, Oda has not missed, I feel like, with a single chapter of this flashback. He's been doing a very, very, very good job. So, with that being said, I want to see what exactly is going on right now with... Hey, thank you, by the way, to Flip, dude. We've got some super chats and stuff. We're going to be reading these out a little bit later. Don't you worry about a thing. My, hold on, my memory is like overloading on my computer. I'm not able to pull all these up, so I might have to just go into Streamlabs. So give me a second, and I'll be able to read all these out. But thank you once again to the people who are coming through the super chats. We're going to read these super chats in a little bit. Go through all this. Oh, also, wait. I gotta admit, well, we'll talk about it when we get to super chats. We're gonna talk about when we get to super chats, because I do actually really want to see this. I want to see this. Hold on. Let's open this up. James's thumbnail art. Let's see. He says, I had to prepare for what I might draw in the future. Oh, okay. Wait, what did you choose for the thumbnail then? I'm curious. You had to prepare. Let's see. First off, thank you to Bryant Brawler. Thank you. This is not what I was expecting at all, but I love this. I love this, James. This is not what I was expecting at all, though. Of the characters that you could have put on the thumbnail for this chapter, this is not who I thought you were going to go with, but I actually love this. Because I agree with you, I don't think you're going to get another opportunity to draw her. This is, and she does have one of the best lines in the entire, this is great. All right. Here we go. Open this up. James went with young Big Mom. I actually really, really love this choice. Because you're probably going to have other opportunities to do Gloriosa. You're probably going to have other opportunities to do Shaki. You're probably going to have other opportunities to do Stussy. But young Big Mom... There's very, very, very few moments left within the story in which this is probably going to be a thing. Because when else is she going to be relevant? She's not going to be relevant during the Emu stuff. The stuff with Elbaf with when she was a little kid, so you're never going to see that. Her running around with the Rocks Pirates, this is it. This is actually really great. She looks awesome here too. With like the leopard skin underneath the bottom. It needed one thing though, James. You needed to put a little thing in the top left corner. You needed to draw a little Labubu Katakuri. That's the last thing this needs. You just got to put right here. You got to draw a stupid little Labubu Katakuri. That's all you got to do. Do a little baby Katakuri just sticking his dumb little head over in the corner. That's all you need. This is obviously a beautiful thumbnail. It's great like this. But if you want to just add one cute little thing to it that won't take a lot of time, draw a little Labubu Katakuri up in the corner. That's it. Otherwise, this is like fantastic. I did not expect in a million years reading through this chapter that this is what you would have chosen for the flashback. Once again, as you guys know, James does not miss with these thumbnails. He does a great job. Also, man, James, you went all out with the detail in this one with the colors on her hair and like the lighting, the little bloom lighting in the corner. You got the little like what's it called, the little like folds in her threads on the top of her hat. I love the facial expression too. She looks like a crazed maniac that is popping, babies out like popcorn. that's what you could add here, James. We could put the little Labubu Katakuri right here, right? And then all across the bottom, do like a frame of popcorn. Just draw a bunch of little things to popcorn. No, don't draw her eating popcorn. Just draw popcorn around the bottom like a little frame. Dude, James, well done. Well done. I really, really love this. Well done, man. Really, really good. Really good. Yeah, and again, you already did Shaggy last week. I am glad that you didn't do Shaggy again, because I feel like that was probably the obvious choice to do Shaggy with the apron. But again, like, when else are you going to get the opportunity to draw a Big Mom? I think it was smart that you actually jumped on the chance. This was very smart. Yeah, well done. Well done. This is very, very good. Excellent, excellent thumbnail this week, James. Everybody, applause for James in the chat. As always, beautiful thumbnail. This is what it gets paid the big bucks for. Well done. Beautiful. Again, the framing I just really like. I love the fact that she's making like a thumbnail face. That she's looking at the camera like... really good. Good stuff. It's also crazy. Big Mom looks better here than Shaggy and Gloriosa combined. Let's bring it back a little bit. All right. Come on, chat. Let's wind it back a little bit. Look, I might not be all over Shaggy, but we know what Big Mom becomes. And like they said, she's popping out babies like popcorn. So let's reel it in a little. Reel it in a little bit. Either way, man, well done. This is really, really good. All right, let me read out some of these super chats. We got some great super chats this week. And before we do that, wait, I want to make an announcement before we do that. Hold on. I want to make an announcement. This is actually really cool. This is a new feature. I want to be able to tell you guys about this. Hold on. Okay. I want you guys to focus on the camera when I explain this. A problem that I've run into a lot over the course of doing these live streams is a lot of the time we'll forget to read out the Nakama questions that are down in the Discord server, where we have that Nakama question room. And a lot of the time we'll read the Nakama questions, and then some of the super chats will also deal with the Nakama questions, and there's just a lot of overlap. And I want to avoid... with these theory discussions and these super chat discussions, I want to avoid overlap as much as possible. So I want to actually let you guys know this. This is a new feature. It's not currently enabled yet. It will be enabled next stream. There is a feature that allows me to give tiers of members on YouTube a highlighted message per month that they can like highlight without having to donate, that allows them to like share their thoughts on a certain topic. I am going to enable that feature starting next week for my live chats. So then that way, because a lot of the time, again, people are super chatting and then repeating the same thing. And then people will be like, oh, what the heck? I super chatted, but this person also said the same thing. This way, you guys can actively see, even if you're not a member and you're not in the Discord server, you can actually see what the Nakama questions are, as opposed to just being in the Discord server. Because I love the concept of the Nakama questions, but there's been a lot of weeks, like last week, obviously, I was at Evo. I couldn't open them up because I was streaming off of my phone. The week before, we had a super long chapter, and a lot of those things got lost in the shuffle. I'm still going to read out the questions that are in the Discord this week, because again, it's not enabled. But starting next stream, actually not even this stream, it's going to be starting the next stream. Are the highlights going to stay up if the chat's moving too fast? No. So the nice thing, the highlighted message shows up in my viewer activity over on my YouTube panel. So that's a thing that now sets up, when you highlight a message, it shows up as a piece of viewer activity over on YouTube. So I can scroll through them, as opposed to having to open up Discord, open up another tab, miss some of the other messages, and then that way you guys can actually see them. So I think this is going to be a much better way to do it. So that's how we're going to do it moving forward. So then that way, one, people don't run the risk of potentially spoiling people in the server. If they post something before the chapter comes up or before we get to it, they don't run the risk of spoiling me. And you could actually, excuse me, my voice is shot. I'm feeling totally fine. You got to excuse me. My voice is shot because I've been talking to people at Pokemon Worlds all day. But all the super chats are going to be saved. They're all the messages are going to be saved, and then we can actually pull them up and read them out, like I said, as a member of viewer activity, as highlighted messages in the live chat. And then you guys won't be overlapping with like super chats or donations. And again, I can enable that feature right off the back end. I haven't done it this stream because, again, I wanted to give people the opportunity to know that this is a change that's coming to the Nakama questions. But and we're going to read through all the Nakama questions here first. But again, I wanted to let you guys know, I wanted to find a way to merge them so people don't overlap. And I feel like this is going to be the best opportunity to do it. So with that being said, I am going to open up the Not Comic questions first before we get into the Super Chats. We're going to read these out, and then we're going to start reading the Super Chats for this week. Did you read the chapter already? We did indeed. We did indeed. We've been going for 50 minutes already, and we still haven't even gotten to any of the Super Chats yet. So this is going to probably be a long stream, so strap in. This is going to be a good one. All right. Let me pull this up in the Manga base room. Okay. Or no, excuse me, Not Comic questions room. Here we go. All right. There's actually not that many, which is nice. Okay. This one, see, this is the other thing I don't like, is that Discord shortens the names, so I can't see who's actually saying everything when I open this up. So this one's from, who is this from? A ... Why are some of these? Oh, Aeronator. What's up, Aeronator? I wonder if at some point with all the backstabbing going on inside the Rocks Pirates, could someone in the crew leak the location or whereabouts of the crew in a double agent type situation during the flashback? Oh, that is 100% happening. Even when you see that little glimpse of Whitebeard during this chapter where they say that somebody ratted out the location, absolutely. That is definitely going to happen. Also, it occurred to me that Stussy fell head over heels for Whitebeard, which of course does confirm that the proclaimed son of Whitebeard, Edward Weevil, is the biological son. Well, again, I don't know if it confirms it. You see her jumping all over him and him being like, I have no desire to have anything to do with you. And you even see him simping over Shaki at the end of the chapter. So, unless she did something uncouth, you know, I don't necessarily think it confirms it, but I do think it furthers the chances of something having happened, you know? Also, I just thought of something. When was the Warlord system set up? Was it after the God Valley incident to balance the powers of the world government versus the pirates as a result of the Rocks Pirates creating so much chaos? Absolutely. Also, Rob says you can disable the name thing. It's a Discord feature, so names don't get shown if a streamer opens up Discord. Oh, how do I change that, Rob? How do I change that feature? I will literally change that right now. That'll be great. Thank you for letting me know. I will definitely change that because I want to be able to pull that up when we're talking. I will definitely change that feature. We'll look into that in a little bit. But yeah, when was the Warlord system set up? That's a good question. I feel like it probably was after the God Valley incident. I mean, they've existed for as long as we've been in the story, correct? Because they existed during Luffy's flashback when he was a kid, because Ace eventually took down the one that was the father of Page One and Ulti. So it's existed at least that far back in the story. It probably was after the God Valley incident. You know, I actually wouldn't even be surprised if that is something that gets brought up at the end of this flashback with, you know, Harold having died and then the Rocks Pirates disbanding after the God Valley incident, that maybe they had to put something into power to make it where then they could balance things out and they offer pirates, you know, amnesty in what's it called, in terms of like all the things that they're doing on the seas in order to work with the world government. I don't know. That's an interesting thing to bring up. It was definitely established because of the Yonkos. Yeah, but the Yonko were going to be put in place after God Valley. We know that. I mean, the Yonko, at this point in time, there's so many strong people running around that it's not really just for Yonko. The Yonko don't exist at this current point in the story. At this point in the story, we've got Big Mom, we've got Kaido, we've got Shiki, we've got Whitebeard, we've got Rocks, we've got Roger. You know, we've got like all these massive pirates. So I don't necessarily think that it's the Yonko thing hasn't been set up yet, right? The World Economic News has not declared Yonko. That is not a thing just yet. I do think that after God Valley, essentially both the Yonko and Warlord systems are going to be created. Right. The question is, because obviously Shanks is going to be a baby at that point, once we actually get the first establishment of the Yonko. If it's going to be Kaido with his dragon fruit and Big Mom and Shanks eventually, but not Shanks just yet, and Blackbeard eventually, but not just yet, and Rocks disbanding, obviously Whitebeard is going to be one of them. We know that about Whitebeard. Who's going to be the fourth? Who's going to be the fourth Yonko that Shanks takes down? I think it would be crazy if it was Shiki. That would be kind of cool, I think. Fold that into the story, just see how far he's fallen, because we have been seeing a lot of Shiki in this flashback. Would be kind of cool. Roger, again, ends the pirate era. He starts off the new one, so it wouldn't be Roger. It would have to be after God Valley and after Roger's death, wouldn't it? So I don't think it would be Roger either. We're going to see. I'm sure we're going to see. Maybe it was just the 3 emperors before. Maybe. But again, if it was after God Valley before Roger's death, then Roger would for sure be part of it, you know? But I would say Rayleigh and Gabon could probably go toe-to-toe with a lot of the members of the Rocks Pirates based on what we've seen as well. So I don't know. We'll see. All right, let me read this. This comes from Clax. Oh, hold on. Wait. Poof sent me a message. What's up, Poof? It unhides more than names. You don't pull up your Discord on screen for majority of the time, but this is how you do it. Ah, thank you very much. This says anonymizes number tags. Oh, because it shows. Oh, this is why it does it. So it does this in streamer mode, so then that way it doesn't just hide the names, it hides like their Discord link. That's good. Okay, thank you for bringing that up, Poof. Well, I'll do that after the stream is over then. Thank you very, very much. See, again, this is a big reason why we got to do Nakama questions on the YouTube instead of on Discord now, because then sometimes I can't see the full names. Things will overlap. This is going to be way better. Way, way, way better. Okay. Let me open this back up. Boom. Go back here. Clack said, I don't know if the timeline matches up, but I do wonder if the embezzled funds were meant to go to the kid slaves like Kuma, Ginny, and Eva. Not that we need another reason to feel bad for them, but it would make things even worse if well-meaning people were donating to help feed them, and the funds were eventually embezzled so they were left with scraps. Again, this is why I do not trust most charities. This is why a lot of the time, you know, people will ask me, oh, why don't you do charity streams? You should do more charity streams. I'm going to be honest, a lot of those charities that are out there are doing things just like this. The people who are running these charities are getting bonuses of millions of dollars a year and have like billionaires sitting on their, you know, on their boards, and the billionaires aren't giving their own money to these charities. There's so many charities that are not what they actually seem, which is again why I avoid doing them unless I know it's like a good local charity where I know exactly where the money is going. That's a big reason why I chose the Palm Rescue during the Obi charity stream. That's a big reason why we did Starlight during some of those gaming streams as well. Starlight's the one charity that basically gives gaming systems to children that are in hospitals or who are in need, who can't afford video game systems. So like stuff like that, I like giving money to. But otherwise, I'm not a big charity donator because you don't know where all the money goes. Yeah. They do say 4 hungry kids, so who knows? Again, it would be someone like Kuma. It would be someone like Eva. It would be these orphans. So again, all the more like I don't feel bad. I think Rock's decimating this charity, right? That for embezzling funds. Good on them. Redistribute the money. But obviously, Rox isn't going to redistribute the money. They're going to be sitting on Full Island and buying, you know, $99 OnlyFans subs to Shaggy's OnlyFans. So, you know what I mean? So I feel like that money's probably not going to be redistributed properly with Rox taking it. But either way. I do think the name was super funny, though. Caught me off guard when it was literally just the M-Bezel charity. All right, let's read. Rob also said in his Nakama question message, I'm stealing James's line from the chat in this. Nami could honestly start my God Valley incident. The way the whole beauty of the Amazons is being greatly exaggerated can somewhat be annoying, but it makes for a lot of funny stuff. Also, I agree with you. Stussy over Gloriosa over Shaggy. My man, Rob. Rob knows, dude. Rob knows ball. Right there, 100%. I could not agree more. Stussy, Gloriosa, Shaggy. If I was Whitebeard, I wouldn't be holding back. I'm telling you, man. Absolutely. Again, we know what she eventually becomes, but I think the only reason Miss Bucking ages poorly is due to the fact Whitebeard died, right? She lost the love of her life. What's going to happen? Of course, naturally, she's going to shrink and become decrepit. She lost the love of her life, naturally. She would have been beautiful. I mean, Shaggy, to be fair, still looks great. Shaggy's how old? What, 65 or something in the current day? She still looks great. I still think, though, I think the big turnoff for me, personally, between the three of them, Shaggy smokes, man. Smoker's breath? No thank you, man. No thank you. Sanji's cool, but again, no one's kissing. I'm not kissing Sanji, you know what I mean? You be kissing Shaggy. Not good. Also, we got Robin in the modern day story, man. Robin is gorgeous. All right. Anyway, thank you once again to the Nakama questions. Appreciate that. Once again, that Nakama questions room on the Discord server, if you are a Nakama tier or up, and you're in the Discord server and you're like, what happened? That will be archived. So everything that's been said in that room, you'll be able to go back and see. So if you said something before, you wanted to see an old theory, you can go back and look at it. But for the starting next week, all of the Nakama questions are going to be built into the YouTube chat. So then that way, there's no overlap with what happens with Super Chats. So with that being said, now let's get into some of these Super Chats because we got a lot of stuff over here too. So first one, hold on, let me open this up, comes from, hold on. This one comes from Tiger Aegis, who donated and said, RogersBase, I just wanted to say this. On this episode of Goon Piece. Come on, man. Look, I mean, that's what these guys are, though. They're simping over her. They went out to sea specifically to get captured by her and to have her, like, board their ship. I cannot relate. Roberto super chatted and said, Roger, you are right. There are way too many girls in One Piece that are prettier. Hancock and Shaki, for me personally, I will fight this to the end of the world. Hancock is the best, but also her sister Sandersonia is the one for me. Sandersonia? This one right here? Her? Over Boa? She literally looks like a snake. I mean, what the heck, dude? This is what you want? I mean, she's kind of pretty, but still in all, it's like, that? She's gonna kill you in your sleep, dude. Yeah, check on. Kind of cute. You know what? I get it. I understand. All right. I won't judge. This right here is also a wild shot of Luffy fighting her. She's prettier than Hancock? Bro, come on. This versus... Come on, dude. Come on. Let's get real. Come on. Hey, different strokes for different blokes, though, you know? I do love Hancock, though. Hancock is very pretty. I think of the Cujo we've seen, of, her, Gloriosa, Shaki, Boa is definitely still my favorite. Like, far and away, Boa is definitely my favorite. Some of these statues are also sick. I've never even seen this one before. That is an awesome figure right there. That is really, really cool. Yeah, Boa's great, man. We love Boa. All right, let me open this up. But you know what? I'm not going to judge you for Sandersonia. You like Sandersonia? That's fine. Good on you, mate. Tornado Man super chatted and said, I really do hope that Z makes a cameo. He was my favorite movie villain. I feel like he's got to show up at some point. If we end up seeing the Marines like descending on God Valley, and they've already shown us Garp and Sengoku and Suru and Kong, I mean, if he's an admiral at this time, he's going to have to show up there, right? I feel like he's also been going out of his way recently to show the movie characters within the canon of the story. We got Uta at the end of Wano in that silhouette with Shanks. We got Shiki, obviously, is a huge part of this stuff that's going on right now with God Valley and with Rocks Pirates and with this flashback. I think we'll most definitely see Z in some capacity in God Valley. Because again, it's not going to happen again. This is also a moment just like the young Big Mom. We're not going to see Z again in the story. Z's been dead for a long time. We're not going to see him in the final war. We're not going to see him in the lead up to getting in the stuff with Laugh Tale. So, yeah. Realistically, I think, like, if we're going to see him in action in the canon of the story, outside of just that one color spread where we saw the admirals right before the movie, I think that'll be that. Also, Roger, you brought up a good point with the love sickness. Gloriosa loved Roger, and Roger ended up dying, and then she became a decrepit old lady. That's what I'm saying, man. Exactly. Bucking lost the love of her life, so she shrunk down and became old and decrepit, right? Big Mom is popping out babies like popcorn, so obviously she's going to get all bloated by the end of all of it. That makes sense. You've got, what's it called? Gloriosa with Roger, Miss Bucking with Whitebeard. It happens. So long as these characters still have love in their life and love in their hearts, they're not going to age as poorly, which is why Shaki still looks good in her 60s, because she found Rayleigh, the love of her life. You know? She's got Rayleigh, and thus she's not going to grow old terribly. It is what it is. Yeah. Let me bring this up as well. Rob Harley also super chatted and said this was an excellent chapter for Otani's birthday. Oh, I didn't even know this was Otani's birthday. That's great. Excellent chapter for Otani's birthday. Love seeing Katakuri, Oven, and Daifuku as baby Labubu's on that one page. I know, that was so funny to see the three of them there. And again, they're some of the oldest siblings. I will say, though, once again, on page pull this up. It's the one where everyone's just completely like freaking out over Shaggy. This is on page 14. If you look on page 14, right on the left-hand side of Shaggy, you can very clearly see Opera's father, where he's got like those bone balls on his head. That is very clearly the father of Opera and like 4 of the other Big Mom kids.
For a while. There'll be plenty of time for work.
Roberto also said, you missed another message of mine about Hancock and Sandersonia. Oh, I hate Hancock because she's cruel to animals. I can't stand anyone who kicks a puppy. Oh, that's understandable, Roberto. So you like Sandersonia more because Sandersonia has not been shown to kick puppies. Look, honestly, Roberto, that's valid. That's a valid take. Also, Roberto donated again and said, I also just heard the English version of Rox in the dub. He sounds terrifying in a good way. I also heard the dub voice. Very, very good. I forgot what his voice actor has been in otherwise. I saw the clip of the voice of the dub on Twitter just a couple days ago. And yeah, I didn't look up what other voices he did. If I look this up real quick, hold on. Rox D. Zebek. Because he does have a great voice. English voice. And obviously we're going to be getting a lot of this once we enter Elbaf. Yeah, Paul St. Peter is the name. Oh! No shot! No shot. Paul St. Peter is Xemnas in Kingdom Hearts and Kurama in Naruto. That explains it. That's why the voice was so good. He's Xemnas and Kurama? Dude, that is a really good resume to have. You're Xemnas in Kingdom Hearts, Kurama in Naruto, and Rox D. Zebek in One Piece. Absolutely fire, man. Wow. It says he's been in a lot of other stuff too, like Digimon, Dynasty Warriors, Durara, Gurren Lagann, Bleach. He was Razor in Hunter x Hunter. Punch in the Cowboy Bebop movie. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Dr. Julius in Monster. Sorbet in Dragon Ball. The Beast King in One Punch Man. Wow, man. That is cool. Yeah, I'm excited to hear more of him. Again, I mean, he was great as Kurama in Naruto. He's awesome in that. So, and he was great as Xemnas in Kingdom Hearts. I never played anything other than the English dub, and I remember him looking great. So, yeah, that's really cool, dude. Shout out to Paul St. Peter, the English dub voice of Rox D. Zebek. Very cool, man. Very, very cool. Austin said, "What if Harold decides to take the world government's offer and pretenders to join Rox's crew to betray him, but he can't bring himself to kill Rox? What if Harold decides to take the world's government offer, pretends to join Rox's crew to betray him, but can't bring himself to kill him?" I mean, maybe that's an option, you know? I don't think Harold is going to be involved in God Valley at all, though. I don't. Outside of maybe... No, I don't know. I don't think he's going to be involved. I think that stuff is going to be happening parallel. With the way that this flashback is being presented, I almost feel like the God Valley stuff is going to be presented in parallel to the downfall of Harold in his throne room, right? That Harold chooses not to take the offer of the world government to not kill Rox. That the world government says, look, if he's not going to listen to us, we got to put him down. He gets Domi reversied. Some of the giants get Domi reversied, whatever. Setting up what's actually happening modern day Elbaf. This is where Loki then grows up. Ends up, killing his father. And I think that potentially happens in parallel to the stuff with God Valley. Or it happens right afterwards. Because again, Loki is going to be grown by the time that he kills his father, right? Loki's going to be grown. Shanks also has to be grown because Shanks is stopping Loki. So that's going to happen way after the God Valley incident. It can't happen in parallel in terms of like happening in the story at the same time. But I think it might be presented in parallel, if that makes any sense, to show what Harold's choice to not kill Rox eventually led to. So then that way we actually see the guy. But unless we end up, seeing the disbandment of the Rox crew and then how that eventually turns Loki into what he is today. I don't know. Obviously, they're not happening at the same time. But I do think it'll be presented in parallel, if that makes sense. Yeah. Also, how confident are you that someone's going to get Domi reversied or that Harold is going to get Domi reversied? I'm very confident someone will be. Either Loki is going to get Domi reversied and he kills all the giants and kills his father, right? But he didn't control himself in that situation. Or Harold gets Domi reversed and he feels like he needs to put his father down because it's not the father that he knew and loved. Something's going to happen for sure. The way it's been set up in the story, especially because we've seen this time and time again with other One Piece story arcs. Look at the Birdcage, for example, right? Birdcage happens, modern day in the story. We get the flashback. We see the Birdcage happening back in the day on the island, and then we actually seeing it happening in real time. I think it's sort of a similar situation. When we got the first glimpse of the Domi Reversi in real time prior to this flashback with Dorian Bragi, we then get this flashback. We're going to see how it happened in the past, and that in some way is going to present ourselves potentially a solution for later in the story when we have to fight the characters that are getting Domi Reversied. Yeah. Also, don't we see him literally like coated in black at one point? With all the other giants attacking. So at some point, I do think we are going to see some type of Domi reversal. And then it's probably going to happen in this flashback. But again, I think it's going to happen after God Valley. Because again, the whole thing with Shanks being the one to actually put him down has to happen. Shanks has to be grown. We're still very far removed from that. Loki is obviously a child at this point. But we are still very far removed from Shanks being a pirate. Shanks at this point in the story is quite literally a baby in a box. And this is prior to God Valley. God Valley still hasn't happened yet. I mean, it might happen sooner rather than later. Because again, now Shaki is here and everyone's in love and they're calling her the gem of Full Lead Island. And then now they're probably going to, kidnap her and that's going to lead to everything. But yeah, I don't know how long it's going to be. Again, we saw Shanks with the tattoo in that other portion of the story. So, with the stuff with Gabon, yeah, he probably isn't even born yet, to be fair. Shanks and Shamrock probably are not born yet at this time in the story. It does make you wonder how long this flashback is going to be, though. Again, I'm not against this being a long, extended flashback. I like this flashback. There's a lot of good stuff in this flashback. If this wants to continue on for a long period of time, I'm good with that, I'm really good with that. Hold on. I think I missed 2 more super chats. I did. Excuse me. I got one super chat from Bryant Brawler who said, what fruit do you think Rox is talking about? Well, obviously Blackbeard's fruit, right? Am I mistaken? Thank you, by the way, to Terry who just super chatted. I'll read that in a second. Thank you very, very much. I feel like it's got to be Blackbeard's fruit, right? If Blackbeard is carrying on the will of Rox, and he knew this was the one fruit that would help him take over everything, I feel like it's gotta be the Yomi Yomi no Mi. I'm not the Yomi. Is it the Yami Yami no Mi? Whatever, the darkness fruit. It's obviously the darkness fruit. I feel like that's gotta be the one. The one that can negate devil fruit powers, which also makes sense because we still have not seen a situation in which Blackbeard has gone toe-to-toe against any of these characters that can regenerate. He did mention 2, and one cannot be Whitebeard's because he already has it. Right, exactly. Whitebeard already has his devil fruit at the time of the story. It's definitely not Whitebeard's. But I'm saying it's for sure the darkness fruit. I feel like it's gotta be. I feel like that is the one that makes them... The other one is obviously the Nika fruit. It's obviously the Nika fruit and the darkness fruit. Those are the 2. Which I also think is going to come into play, story-wise, with all the stuff that happens in Harold's flashback. And with the Domi Reversi, right? And the pieces flipping from black to white. I'd be shocked if it wasn't anything other than the Yami Yami no Mi. It has to be that and Nika. With where we are in the story and like the importance of some of these fruits, it's got to be those 2. Yeah. Let me see. What was another one? This one comes from Ost51989, who says, what if Harold decide... Oh, no, this is the one we already read. We read this one already. The can't bring himself to kill Rox. We read this one already. Terry Brown also says, I know this isn't a One Piece question, but have you seen K-pop Demon Slayer? And if you have, do you like it? We love you, Roger. Thank you, Terry Brown. Yes, I have seen K-pop Demon Hunters. I really, really enjoyed that movie. I actually talked about it twice on my most recent episodes of Touch Base with RogersBase. If you have not yet, gone to listen to those recent episodes, you can go to Spotify, look up RogersBase. It's the first thing that comes up. I've been doing this bi-weekly podcast every week that we don't do Japan time. Members here on the YouTube channel at the Nakama tier and up can ask their questions and, bring up whatever hot topics they want me to discuss on Touch Base with RogersBase. I did 2 full episodes talking about K-pop Demon Hunters, one where I gave my thoughts on the series, and another one in which I ranked all the songs. What I will say, because again, this is a One Piece stream, I don't want to go too off topic, what I will say, I really enjoyed it. My favorite song is Your Idol. I think that song is really, really good. Then I would say number 2 would be Soda Pop. I like both of the Saja Boys songs. They're really good. And overall, it was a great movie. It was, I think, well-deserved with the acclaim that it's getting. Really well animated, great songs. Just overall, a fun animated musical. I feel like so many of these Disney movies nowadays, or like DreamWorks movies or whatever, they end up flopping and they're like, well, why aren't the movies doing well? Dude, make a musical with cute girls and a romance subplot. It's going to appeal to everybody. The guys are going to like it. Everybody loves a good musical. And then you've got the girls coming in for the romance story. That's all you got to do. That's all you got to do to make a successful animated movie. And then time and time again, Disney's like, yeah, but what if sci-fi adventure? It's like, what if you never do that garbage again? How about that? How about don't make Strange World ever again and just make a good musical? Come up with an original concept and make a good musical, all right? It's all you got to do. People will come in droves. They will listen to the songs. It's like, I don't get it. Frozen was so successful. Moana was so successful. Why? Great songs, good stories, basic plots, not super complicated. Just do that. Just do that. People will come in droves. That's all you got to do. But then they do other stuff that's not that. And then, I don't know why we're getting off topic talking about Disney movies. Regardless, K-pop Demon Hunters is good. I'm enjoying it. Yeah. Also, Raf's Revenge is bringing up over on the Twitch chat saying, I think it's going to be one of the longest flashbacks in history, honestly. We're not even halfway through Loki's life, and it's been 6 chapters already. That's what I'm saying, man. Which is why I feel like the stuff that we get in the future with Harold is probably going to have to be paralleled with the stuff that happens with God Valley. Because I don't know, man. I don't know. It'll just be weird if we're getting through this flashback. We had all this stuff set up for God Valley and with Rocks, and then we still get another 5-6 chapters afterwards leading up to stuff with Elbaf and the fallout from Harold's decision to not kill Rocks. I don't know. How long has this one been already? We're on 11:57. Let me type this in. Excuse me, I got hiccups. Is your podcast on Apple Music? It's on everything. Yeah, it's on literally everything. You can look up Touch Base with RogersBase. It's on everything. Check it out. Here, I'm going to type this in real quick. And I want to see how many chapters we've been in flashback. Logged onto my Viz, full chapter list. So we're in 11:57 right now. I want to say it started in 11:50, right? Because 11:50 was the Domi Reversi, wasn't it? Oh no, okay, so it didn't start at 11:50. It started... Oh, 11:52 was the official beginning. This was the official beginning. Yeah, because this is when Loki, he's like, you've got a couple minutes to tell the story. How is this relevant to the event? 14 years ago, Aris Castle, Elbaf. Exactly. And this one, you see him walking in the day that Harold dies. Yes. Yes. All right. So this was 11. So it's only been 5 chapters? That's wild. I guess he's been taking a lot of breaks, though. And in fact, there is going to be another break next week as well. Yeah, I mean, maybe we're like at the halfway point of the flashback then, if that's the case. Again, I'm down with this being the rest of the year. I mean, I've been really enjoying all this setup, so I'm cool with it. That's crazy. It's only been 5. When you think of the amount of information that has been packed into these 5 chapters, which is why everyone's pretty much been a banger, because all the information has been good and relevant to the story and moving at a good pace with great reveals, really cool chapter enders, I feel like, for the most part. Really great characterization and character building. It's awesome. Yeah. Also, Randy's stream is starting in 10 minutes. Well, great. I'll rate him afterwards. We'll rate him after this. That'll be great. I'm glad that Bonnie is here. With her powers, she can age Gabon to his prime, and they can help fight against the Holy Knights. That would be sick. I would love to see that rated legendary. If we ended up seeing something in which she, like, ages Gabon down, and he's like, all right, I'm back. Let's go, and then just wipes everybody out, that would be sick, man. Realistically, I think 1162 might be for the flashback to finish. Yeah, a good solid 10 chapters, I think. Again, the Shaki thing seems like a good halfway point, because then you can get a full chapter of God Valley, a full chapter of the Fallout, a full chapter dealing with Loki and his father, probably another full chapter in the lead up to God Valley, so that's 4. And then the 5th one could lead us into modern day, where we get like a good tableau, you know, of Loki and Haruden and Luffy and Zoro and Sanji all side by side, united after finding out the truth of what happened to Harold, leading into the stuff with Emu, which could then be the volume ender, because I believe we just had the last, let me look up One Piece volumes, just so I'm not misspeaking. Give me a second. One Piece volumes, let me see this. Because I believe the next one is coming into stores very soon. I believe it's coming out when I am in Japan in November. I think that's when the next one drops. Let me pull this up. Yeah, so the last one released in July. So I believe literally there will be a new volume for me to pick up when I get there in Japan. And it's going to be the beginning of all this, basically. It's going to be the beginning of the flashback. Because it goes from 1145 to 1156. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Actually, you know what? This next volume will probably be 1145 to 1155. Because the Rocks Pirates, where we get that tableau of all of them, is a perfect volume ender. That is actually a perfect volume ender. Because then, this could go another 5, lead into the stuff with the conflict. 11, volume 113, 113 will come out and deal with the first half of the flashback. 1114 can be the second half of the flashback, and then leading into this stuff with the conclusion of Elbath. And then 115 could be the Elbath finale one. And then, going into next year, right, we start up Final War. And then that brings us 5 volumes of Final War, getting us right to that volume 120 mark, into Laugh Tale, into the final saga. The final arc of the final saga. That's it, man. I feel like that's really solid. Is it just 5 chapters per volume? No, because again, the thing you have to take into consideration, I'll open this up and show you guys. The thing you got to take into consideration over here is we have 5 chapters prior to the flashback starting, right? Domi Reversi, 1 Second, Ronjo, What We're Afraid Of. All this stuff is before we even get to this chapter. So we got a lot of these. But I feel like The Rocks Pirates is a good chapter ender. Almost every single one of these is either 10, 11, or 12 chapters. It's never more than 12. It's never less than 10. I think maybe there's been a couple that were 9, but usually it's like 10 or 11. So I feel like that from here to Rocks Pirates is perfect for the November release. If we got March and July, yeah, and it's almost always March, July, and November. So it's going to come out right. That's going to be sick, dude. I'm going to get the new volume right when it comes out in Japan. It's going to be peak. We got to do a video getting it from the store. That's going to be great. I also feel like for sure they got to put Rocks on the cover. No doubt. If it's the beginning of the flashback, I could totally see a world in which they do the Reversi, Dory, and Broggy on the bottom, and then Rocks like looming over the back with Luffy in the middle. That would be very cool. I also never talked about it. I really do love the volume cover of the last one. With Saul and the other giants and Luffy like holding them all together. Really cute. Really, really cute. Also, Flipdo donated. I see another donation from Flipdo saying current admirals are all about devil fruits. So since Z was an admiral... Wait, hold on. Oh, I'm sorry. I see what you did there. You shortened some of the stuff so you could fit it in the super chat. Let me read this again. Current admirals are all about devil fruits. So since Z was an armament hockey master in this era, it was probably all about hockey mastery, which each admiral having a hockey specialty. One being conquerors, one being armament, and one being observation. That's kind of cool. I like the idea that the admirals of this era were all like really strong hockey users. Yeah, if Z was like an armament hockey master, you have one of them being observation hockey master and then one being conquerors hockey master. That would be cool. I really like that idea, Flip, dude. That's cool. I like that one a lot. I'm assuming the Conquerors one would still be running around at this point, right? And then Z is obviously the armament one. So then the observation one was killed by Rocks. Cool idea. Also, yeah, Red. Usually one volume is 9 to 11 chapters long. I think there was one that was 12. But for the most, or like 2 that were 12 or something. I think there was one recently that was 12. Hold on, let me go back real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think it was an Egghead one. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I'm not going to go through and count all these, but one of the Egghead ones did have 12, I believe. Yeah. What if it's Kong with Conquerors? Bro, that would be crazy. That would actually be crazy if Kong had Conquerors hockey. That would be good, though, because we need to find a way to actually make Kong seem threatening in some way, because we really haven't seen him do anything at this point in the story. Kong's just been kind of mid the entire time, so, yeah. Well, I think that is going to wrap things up. We've been going for almost an hour and a half. This is a really solid chapter of One Piece. We are going to read, we're not going to read. We are going to watch the next episode of One Piece during next week's lead-up stream. Let me basically explain what's going on over the course of the next week, because we're going to be on break, okay? Next week, I have been saying I was going to do this for a long time. We are finally going to do it. Next week is going to be my big Genshin catch-up stream. So if you are a fan of my One Piece content, but also like my Hoyo content, next Sunday, all day, because there's a One Piece chapter on break, I'm going to be doing a full Genshin catch-up. We're going to be catching up throughout the entirety of the story so far that I have not played. There's apparently a lot of good lore stuff. The voice actors are back. There's a lot of really good moments. People have been asking for me to do this for a very long time. I feel like now is a good time to do it because there's a lot of other games coming out. We've got Kirby coming out next week. We've got Metal Gear Solid Delta I'm doing videos on. We just had Dragon Drive. We've got a lot of games coming out. Plus we've got Gamescom happening this week. Plus we've got whatever's going to happen at Pokemon Worlds tonight. There's a lot of stuff. So yeah, finally, like Max said, Bro's comments will finally stop being flooded with Where's Genshin. Exactly. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to do that big Genshin catch-up stream next week. We're going to play through everything in Genshin. I might even do like a little bit of a lead-up, playing a little bit of Honkai stuff, because I'm pretty much caught up to Honkai. I played the majority of the Fate thing off stream because I haven't watched Fate, and to be honest, I didn't really love the fact that they didn't have the voice actors in English, so I was like, it is what it is. I'll just skip this. But I think we're about to enter a really good next big portion, solid story portion of Honkai. So and thankfully I haven't missed that much. I've been keeping up with my dailies, so I'm good. So we'll do like the big Genshin catch-up. Also wasn't a good quest anyway. So there you go. See, there you go. So I didn't miss much. We're good. So we're going to do the big Genshin catch-up stream next Sunday. I also want to announce a couple of the dates for things, just so people are aware, because I am streaming a lot less this month because of all the travel and because of everything that's been going on. But I have very specific stream days for things. And it's also because I have a lot of videos going up. I have 3 major videos, finally uploading the Epic Universe video, plus 2 videos related to Metal Gear that I'll have going up later this month. And so I have to really focus on like building out those videos, but I want to give a couple dates for a couple things. Okay. If I go on over here to my calendar, let me open this up. Also, thank you very much for the donation, Clifford. I'm going to read that in just a second after I give these dates for these upcoming streams. Okay. On Wednesday of this week, I'm going to be live at 11 a.m. Pacific time here on the YouTube channel with my live reaction to the new Boruto chapter. That's Boruto 2 Blue Vortex Volume 25. I will be live right here on YouTube with that, 11 a.m. Again, those are members only streams, so if you want to take part, you got to become a member. After that stream ends at 2 p.m., I will be guest hosting on RTTV. This is a long-awaited collaboration. People have been asking about this for a very long time for me to do another collab stream with them. They're all caught up to One Piece. We're going to have a huge One Piece discussion. We are also going to discuss Full Metal Alchemist and Naruto because I finished both of those series since the last time that I talked with them. So that'll be really fun. It's going to be a really, really good RTTV collab stream. Again, that's going to be 2 p.m. same day. So I've got 2 pretty major streams happening on Wednesday. On Friday, on the 22nd, on Friday the 22nd, there is going to be a video uploaded here to the channel that is going to be a really cool Metal Gear related video. So you'll be able to watch that next Friday. In addition to that Metal Gear video on Friday, I will also be going live playing some of the Switch 2 edition of Kirby the Forgotten Land. That is going to be on Twitch and that will then be uploaded to the Vault channel because all my full playthrough of Forgotten Land is over on the Vault channel as well. So if you are at all interested in my playthrough of the new content in the Switch 2 edition of Forgotten Land, make sure you are following my Twitch channel. That'll be on there. Again, I don't want to do a stream the same day I upload a big video on my YouTube. I want people to like find the YouTube video. Additionally, on I believe the 19th is Gamescom Live. I've had people asking me whether or not I'm going to be doing a live reaction to the full Gamescom Live presentation. I have not decided yet. I'm sort of waiting to see what the rumor mill is looking like in terms of big reveals. If there is a really big reaction type thing that I want to watch, maybe what I'll end up doing if I'm hearing that there's going to be some cool stuff, I might end up Twitch streaming the Gamescom Live presentation, which again I believe is, let me open this up, Gamescom Opening Night Live is, let me tell you. Oh, literally, I was just talking this up. I opened this up and it says Gamescom is looking like a big one. Okay. Except all. Gamescom Opening Night Live starts at 7:30 p.m. CEST. I don't even know what that is. 7:30 p.m. CEST. What's the time difference? Oh, 9 hours ahead of Pacific time. Oh, so it'll be like well, if it's going to be like midday for me, then I might just do the live reaction. It's going to be 11 a.m. PST. Oh, yeah, then I might. Okay, let me add one more thing to this. I'm going to be live on Twitch on the 19th. So this upcoming Tuesday with my live reaction to Gamescom Opening Night Live. I'll be doing that on Twitch, 11 a.m. Pacific time. If there's any big reaction in that, I will upload that here to the main channel. Wednesday, 11 a.m., same time, we'll be doing Boruto 2 Blue Vortex, the new chapter, and then I'll be on RTTV. Friday, we're going to stream Kirby and the Forgotten Land Switch 2 edition over on Twitch. And then the following Monday, on the 25th, I'm going to be doing my my NSO Game Club for my members here on the YouTube channel. Last month, we played Donkey Kong 94. This month, we're going to be playing Chibi Robo. They're adding Chibi Robo to GameCube Switch Online. I've never played Chibi Robo. It's a good opportunity to finally play it. So we're going to be doing that on Monday. And then the following Friday, there will be another big video uploaded. And then, of course, again, next Sunday, we'll have the big Genshin catch-up stream. I'll probably end up putting like a schedule image together so people know when I'm live. Because again, I'm going to be live very sporadically over the course of this week because I have a lot of stuff that I have to edit in the back end, and these streams probably aren't going to be super long, but I wanted to let all of you know about that over the course of this stream. Now, with that being said, I also want to read out the other super chat that I actually just missed, so give me a second. Let me open this up. Give me one second. Hello? What's this? I had one of my ads playing. All right, let me open this up. Boom. Also, oh, yes, I also want to remind you guys of another thing. Thank you for bringing that up, because I see Roberto and Max saying that the Vault channel is goated right now. If you are not already, make sure you're subbed to the Vault channel, which is where I'm dumping basically anything that no longer fits in the member vault. I am currently in the process of uploading the entirety of my playthrough of Triangle Strategy for everybody. That was like one of the most iconic playthroughs in the history of my YouTube channel. It has previously only been members only. The only way to watch it is if you are a member. If you missed out on that playthrough over the course of the last 3 years, you finally have an opportunity to watch it. It's being available. It's being uploaded, made available, all 11 parts, all 10 plus the other one. That's all going to be on there on the Vault channel over the course of the next week and a half. I'm uploading one a day, so you'll be able to watch through my entire Triangle Strategy playthrough, and that'll then be uploaded there in entirety forever for free. You can watch it whenever you want. Now, again, big reason for that is because there's so much other stuff being added to the Vault that we're kind of running out of room for the Vault, for the actual like Google Drive Vault for the members. But thank you again, once again, to all the members that have been coming through who, you know, are being patient with me as all this stuff is being shifted around. But I think, again, with the Nakama questions being changed to a highlight in the YouTube, plus the Vault getting new stuff uploaded, plus the Vault channel getting free content uploaded for all of you, I think people are going to be happy. Also, someone on Discord was asking about Avatar. We will not be covering Avatar at all either the new show or the movie. We're not going to be covering it all. Maybe I might do one video talking about it afterwards, but there will not be a watch-through stream of Avatar. We will not be covering Avatar. The Legend of Korra stuff pretty much killed any of that, so we will not be watching Avatar. Oh, you meant for the vault. Nope, Avatar stuff and Korra stuff is both staying in the member vault for the time being. Those full watch-throughs are staying in the member vault. There's room for them, and they're recent. I'm basically going through the backlog of stuff that happened before Avatar, which is why I uploaded all the Naruto stuff over there. I think the next thing up is going to be... I think Oshi no Ko is the next thing up. Yeah. But no, the Avatar stuff is still staying members only. But thank you for bringing that up. And again, if you're a member here on the YouTube channel, make sure to join the Discord server. Again, we've got lots of rooms, lots of cool things. We got our movie nights. We've got our super chat things. We've got our, member reveries. Yeah, make sure to enter all that. All right, and then finally, last but not least, I know Randy's about to go live, but I want to tell you guys to do one thing in particular. As many of you know, it was just recently Obi's birthday. He just celebrated his 10th birthday. So if one of my mods could actually do this, could you link to my stream that I did? Oh, Randy's already live. All right, well, perfect. If you could link to my stream that I did a couple days ago, I want everybody to go comment under that stream, happy birthday, Obi. It would be lovely. We had such a great stream, raised a bunch of money for the OC Palm Rescue. Again, nice parallel with the stuff with the charity in the beginning of this stream. But definitely make sure to go check out that stream. Leave a little comment, send some love to the OC Palm Rescue, and donate to a good cause. Absolutely. Well, with that being said, thank you all once again for a really awesome One Piece stream this morning. Like, comment, subscribe, and until next time, I'll talk to you guys later. Nakama!